Get out of this fucking tunnel. What up, everybody? Welcome to the Hump Day Chick Show. It's your favorite angry American. And sadly, we're still missing our token Ginger. He is still out picking up Emery slack. But we do have Emery in the house tonight. What's up, brother?
What's up?
As always, we've got the glorious Bob Toombs up there with that. You're trying to race me, dude. You're trying to catch up. Well, I wasn't going to talk about the color. I was trying to avoid that. But
I got another 10 years before I catch up with your grayness.
And then, guys, I was kind of excited because I was like, this could be like a tactical rifleman reunion tonight. We'll have Emery and Sue here, and Karl, and then Sue, of course, has to go. I don't know, work or something.
He's doing
what?
Sue's doing Sue things. You know, things where you go and you lose.
I was going to say that could be anything. But for those of you watching who don't know our guest tonight, Mr. Karl Erickson, tactical rifleman extraordinary himself, please welcome Karl. There you go. There's that princess wave. I was waiting for it. How you doing, man?
For the masses out there.
For the masses.
I learned that from Princess Di. She
That's
taught
right.
me that one.
Wasn't she aptly named? That's mean, isn't it? How the hell you been, man? I miss you. Was it too soon? Was it too soon?
It's too soon, man.
All right.
Too soon.
Well, you know,
Still too soon.
You learn it's still too soon. How the hell you been, Karl? I ain't seen you in a minute, man.
You know, been busy. Had a full knee replacement this summer, but I forgot to take training classes off of my calendar. So I've been limping through the summer and fall and now winter, trying to keep our classes rolling with the help of Emery Morgenstern, International Man of Mystery. And no, we actually just wrapped up our last public course. High-risk travel was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We leave first thing tomorrow morning for our last custom class of the year down at Tier 1 Group in Memphis. And after that, it's next class isn't until March. So that means plenty of time to film videos.
Well, that's kind of like us. You are the last guest of 2023. This is the last podcast of the year, guys, because, you know, holidays, we all want to take some time and do our things. So I couldn't think of a better way of putting a period at the end of 2023 than hanging out with Karl. I know I'll get to see you in March, but I guess that's the next time I'll see you, right? Probably March.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I'll be heading down your way, going to skydive Palatka in Palatka, Florida. It is the last train up for the round canopy parachute team before we jump into Normandy, France for the 80th anniversary of the D-Day invasion. I got a bunch of VIPs jumping with us. I've got Kyle Lamb from you guys know him from Black Hawk Down. You guys all know him from Viking Tactical. But back in the day, no joke, he's a guy, one of the Delta operators from Black Hawk Down. He's going to be, I'm going to be jump master on that C-47 World War II airplane. I'm going to have Kyle Lamb's brother, Command Sergeant Major Rick Lamb, 3 lambs in a row. You know, you almost fall asleep counting sheep like that. I'm going to have Emery. I'm going to have my son come jump with us, a couple other tactical rifleman fans. And since it's up to me, I'm the jump master. I'm going to put them all out about 10 minutes early. You know, make it realistic, you know. We're going to be all over France.
What Karl's forgetting is the fact that the way we do this is a combat jump, meaning that the jump master actually jumps first.
Yeah. I say follow me, and then they go out the plane door after me, which is funny shit. So
I got to watch you do that one time. I saw you actually do that once.
You watched it from inside the plane, which I thought was cool. I wish I had that video clip to play right now, because between the GoPro that was mounted on the end of the wing
I had
and Chris's phone, him filming the whole thing, we edited together a beautiful, beautiful clip. And World War II uniforms and everything,
Yeah.
and it just turned out really good. It really did. And if you asked me if I was ever going to jump again, I'd tell you hell no. I've got like almost 600 jumps. You count all my Halo, military free fall, static line jumps, and everything. There's no way I'm going to jump again. Retired, not going to do it. Never had to pull my reserve. Never, not one time. Knock on wood. And then my son heard about jumping in the 75th anniversary of D-Day. Command Sergeant Major Rick Lamb brought his son. It was a great bonding experience. So I asked my son, Nicholas, because I've done a lot of screwed up shit in my life, but my only regret in life is when the towers fell, I basically missed 10 years of my son growing up. All the back-to-back deployments and everything. So I said, if I ever had a chance to make it up, spend more time with my son, I always jump at it. So I asked him, hey, the 80th, you want to jump into Normandy? And his eyes just lit up. And I'm like, so I'm going to be jumping around parachute. And we'll see.
T, have you ever jumped? T, you got any time under canopy you ever jumped before?
Got zero jumps under my belt. Big O zero.
You probably got better knees than I have too.
Well, yeah, and then there's the knee thing. That's going to be interesting as well.
Yeah, don't tell my ortho surgeon because I haven't told him.
Is he watching?
Yeah, did you jump
over in the comments?
I haven't told him. Yeah, there's no way he would let me jump at the 12-month mark. It will have been.
You did really good though. You did good. The class that whole 5 days, you were hopping all over the place. You're one of the fastest one-legged guys I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, wiping the tears away when the students aren't watching, and then
always kept his back to us when that happened.
It's kept his back to us.
I actually was doing good in my rehab. Was doing good. I was mountain biking and rowing machine. You can't run on it. I can't run on it. And then opening day of deer season, I don't really hunt anymore, but I have a lot of Green Berets, retired Green Berets that have sons. And it's important that we pass all these man skills on to the next generation. So opening day of rifle season, these guys don't have anywhere to hunt. I bring them out. We call Operation Bloodbath.
Yeah.
And we run it like a military op, satellite imagery, op order, whole 9 yards. And anyways, by 7:30 in the morning, we had 8 deer on the ground, dead.
I was going to say, Karl, but they hunt deer by the truckload.
Yeah, literally. Where's that picture? It's right over there on the wall. Operation Bloodbath 2007. That was the record. We had 15 deer dressed out in the back of the truck by 7:30 in the morning. So anyways, we're out there. I had Randy Wurst. I had Randy hollowing out my deer. And I jumped on my wife's electric mountain bike, her little Avant e-bike. And I got my 6.5 Creedmoor. I didn't have a sling for it. So I'm bouncing that on the handlebars and I'm riding to go check on the other guys. And that seat set wrong, bouncing over all the cornfield ruts. And damned if I didn't tear my knee up again. So that kind of backed up rehab about 2 months. So I'm hurting right now. You didn't see it right before we went live. My wife snuck on the screen and gave me 800 milligram Motrin and one of my anti-inflammatories. And she said, here, put a smile on your face, ignore the pain, and act tough. So,
well, we all know you've only the only things that you actually feel, Karl. So,
hot, cold, and recoil.
Hot, cold, and recoil. That's it.
Hot, cold, and recoil.
It's like I broke up with my girlfriend last year, was it? I had to go tell Karl right away. we're sitting on the couch. It was a couple days after, and she's just, tears and all that. And she's just hating me, right? And I'm like, okay, you'll be okay. You'll get over it. Blah blah blah. And she's like, "Don't you feel anything? Don't you have any feelings?" And I turned right to her and I went, I feel hot, cold, and recoiled.
Is this the one I'm thinking of? Probably.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
Well, she is.
She's just not us. You know what I mean?
No, she's not. No. And just in case you guys haven't guessed, Karl and Angery are in the same room. So they're down in Karl's man cave. There he is, right there. Karl's awesome man cave downstairs.
It's when we first built the house, I couldn't afford to finish it, so we had just bare concrete basements, walkout basement, and but every combat deployment, I would save my combat pay, and we framed it up one time. Next deployment, did all the electrical. I did all the tile floor myself. My father-in-law owned a drywall company, so I got the drywall done while I was deployed. And then it's like, well, how do we decorate this? And the wife said, you need to display your military coins because you've got a lot of them. I'm like, how do you know I got a lot of them? Well, she sold our old house while I was deployed, packed all my stuff into storage. I came home and I was living in my in-laws' basement. And she said, every time I found one of your coins, I threw it in a jar. I'm like, well, how many were there? She's like, I couldn't pick up the jar. My wife is 5'10", corn-fed, beautiful country girl. And I'm like, that's a lot of coins. So you can see it right here. I actually routed the chair rail. It's got to be big enough to put a beer on while you're playing pool. And so the coins go all the way around the room, literally all the way around the room. Pretty crazy. So yeah, I got my pool table.
Fantastic. Well, I love the storage aspect of your pool table. I think that's awesome. But the photos that are in that room are incredible. Just wandering through there and spending a minute looking at them is fantastic. But Angery, can you get a shot, or is the camera movable to where you could get a shot of his tile work?
Oh yeah.
Can we show them that? And then Karl, I want you to tell them about how. No, you know what tile I'm talking about.
He's talking about the medallion over there.
Yeah, I want the
other side of the pool table. He's not gonna be able to see it.
He can't see it. But Karl, while you're on deployment, you took cases of tile with you.
Yeah. So my wife wanted a medallion, one of those 6 foot wide, fancy tile medallions. She wanted one in the kitchen, and like a compass rose. And we got a local tile factory. It's like there's 5 big tile factories in the U.S. Turns out one of them's only 30 minutes away from us. So they have seconds, right? So instead of paying $5 a tile, you're paying 99 cents a tile. And they're still fine. They're still fine. So I started checking, and I'm looking at this medallion. They wanted $3,000 for this medallion. And I'm looking at it square feet wise, and I'm like, that should cost $30, not $3,000. And I'm like, I could make that. And the wife's like, you could make that. I mean, I'd have to buy a good tile saw, diamond blade, but yeah, it's a tile saw, $600, but I could do that. She's like, bet. So anyways, I needed a tile saw anyways, because we tiled the kitchen, the foyer, laundry rooms, bathrooms, and the entire basement is tiled. So I started doing I did a compass rose in the kitchen, 6 feet across, and it's all, but it's all made out of 12-inch or 18-inch straight tiles. And so, and the cool part is I did a compass rose. I actually laid it in with a compass, magnetic, magnetic degrees, everything. Yeah. So as the declination changes a little bit, I guess I'll have to clip the side of the house with the bulldozer or something. But anyways, it's dead on balls accurate. So then she's like, wow, that came out great. We started doing the foyer, and we got even fancier there. In the middle, an E for Erickson, right? My first letter, my last name. I drew out Times New Roman font, printed it real big, and I had to cut it with the Dremel tool, and that took a while. And we did the ones in the bathroom. Well, remember, this is when we first built the house. Well, come to do the basement, and I wanted the Nos Defion symbol from my old unit. I got and it's all over these pictures here, but it's off my old unit coin. And if you know anything about Project Blue Light or stuff like that, it's the skull and crossed arrows. So anyways, I wanted to do a medallion here in the basement. So the middle part is going to be round, the round circle. So like Chris said, it's like, well, how do you do that? And I was getting ready to deploy to Jordan. And I want to say this was 2000. Oh, shit. That would have been 2009, 2010. And so I made 3 of these circles out of 18-inch squares. I just slowly rounded them on my diamond saw, brought them in my carry-on bag, and I had a Dremel tool in my check bag. I flew commercial over there, and while I'm sitting in the hotel, I carried 3 of them because I knew I was going to screw it up. But I actually got the first one right, and came out perfect, came back, laid it all in, and I'm proud of it, Chris. It turned out pretty good. There's about $30 in tile there. And thank you, taxpayers, for paying the excess baggage to get all my shit to the other side of the planet so I could do it. Turned out pretty good.
I was going to say it's got more money in airfare than it costs for the tile for that stuff.
The funny part is about 4 feet from the medallion. Now remember, there's nothing in the man room. There's no woodwork, nothing hanging, nothing. It's just bare floor. I got the circle cut for the round medallion. Well, off to the side, because these are all 18-inch tiles, I got this strip about 4 inches wide, a line about 3 feet long, just randomly in the middle of the room. And the wife comes down, she's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Well, I just always wanted a random line on the floor to just make people ask questions about." Oh, she lost her mind. She got because this is tile. You're not pulling this back up. What she didn't realize was I had every intentions of putting a dartboard up in the man room. It's there, and that way that's the line on the floor for the dartboard. Yeah. But I didn't tell her that. I let her stew for about a month before I came clean with it. I'm sure that's her pinging me right now. Yeah, be nice. She's not. She's watching. She's upstairs right now. Yeah, good stuff.
Carl's not used to doing this with headphones on, so he can't hear every time Dana gets pissed. Her stuff.
Yeah.
That's a usual signal to Carl when he's doing something online.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to talk politics. He'll start pacing and walking real heavy up there. That's the signal to tell Emery no more dead red wine. Yeah, that's basically how we do it. Yeah.
Man, I miss that. That's
I may take back what I said before.
Chris, we just bottled another. We got 26 bottles out of the batch, and I got another batch of wine will be ready in about 3 weeks. So when I come down in March, I've actually got a new red Zinfandel, because the dead red is a Cabernet. You like that one? But I got a red Zinfandel that we named Pink Mist.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Nice, very nice.
It'll knock your head off for sure. It's good. The chuggability factor is quite high with that one. Yeah, I did.
That's the best kind. That's the best kind. How are things up on the hill, man? That's Carl's compound. It's called the Hill. It's the top of the hill.
Compound. Well, accurate. You say compound, people think like Branch Davidian and stuff.
No,
and, we have not.
It's not. It's not like that. It's not at all. Even though the ATF probably watch my hill more than his hill,
Yeah, probably.
I hope, and for all my ATF guys in the audience right now, call before you come. I'll make you coffee. But you understand, you come under night vision across the fruit tree orchard, it's just not going to end well. It's just not. I'll invite you in. You can. I got nothing to hide. I really don't. I've got some cool shit you'll like to see. I'll tell you all the stories behind it, but you're not going to find anything you can arrest me for. I'm past that part in my life. I am. So anyway, that's my public service announcement to protect our government agencies for their own protection. Call before you knock. Call before you knock.
Yeah, same here. Text before you knock. Come on by.
Yeah,
I got nothing to hide either. I'm just like Karl.
Yeah, but
shit to hide.
Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. Yep.
So, Angery, how's your back, man?
It's doing okay. We're getting somewhere. With it. You know.
Making some progress.
He went and saw his chiropractor yesterday, right?
Yesterday
day before?
Or the day before.
Day before. Yeah.
Yeah, he's my chiropractor / physical therapist / he comes and shoots with us. But
acupuncture. Yeah, he does everything. Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Well, that's a good guy to have, actually.
I'm a medicine man.
So when I get done with the next couple of classes and all that, and the next jungle one, then I get to get some shots into my spine, get an epidural, and then hopefully that'll be okay for a minute.
Nice. Good. Yeah, I need to get out on my range. I got a bolt issue I'm trying to resolve in a gun right now. I got one bolt. I can't figure out what's wrong with this thing, but if I put it in and chamber it, man, it locks up. It's done. It's not doing anything else. And you've got to
have you cleaned it?
I had to put it on the workbench in my shop and beat the charging handle with a pair of vice grips to get the bolt out of battery. So I got to replace the charging handle too. It's just, I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm trying to figure out, I don't know if it's the bolt carrier. I don't know if it's the bolt. I don't know if I'm changing parts and trying to swap stuff, but it's only this one set. So
without a round in a magazine, it's just free.
It is the holiday season. So you've got that one relative that, wants guns that you don't like, and you can give it to him as a gift, and that's an excuse for you to buy another one. So,
I just got another one. I just got a 300 blackout and some horse trading. So I'm gonna be getting that thing spun up here very soon. Get a can for it, some optics.
Chris, our buddy Byron and I have been doing a lot of messing around because Byron started making these rifles, a door kicker, right? It's a badass.
Yeah.
Black armor guns. Yeah.
Lovely.
Black armor guns.
Oh.
No, very nice. Yeah, nice shirt.
So we've been playing with, different bolts from different manufacturers, but, BCGs, all that. And not all BCGs, as everybody should know, are created equal.
Oh, no.
And it's probably the most important, second to your actual barrel itself. It's the most important piece on that gun in terms of function. And so whoever here is curious, don't go cheap on BCGs and bolts.
Mm-mm.
I'm not going to. In fact,
one thing I'll say though, Chris, one thing that I do that I keep in my range bag, because I'm out at the range with students a lot of times. If somebody shows up with a gun that's just not running, an AR that's just not running, and I don't have time to mess with it, Surefire makes it's called an ultimized bolt carrier. And it's just a box. It's a whole thing, firing pin, everything, unit. And I don't leave it in a gun. I give it to the student to finish the rest of the day. And then I take it back from them. And I don't know what they've done to it, but the tolerances are sloppy enough on it that it works in guns that are too tight. And it as a unit is tight enough. So all the tolerances on the inside of it are tight enough that it runs reliably. So if you think about it, the locking lugs have got to lock proper, right? Yep. And the gas key, if it's gas impingement gun, it has got to seal proper. But everything else, as far as contact points, everything else that could possibly have problems are in the bolt carrier group itself. So, because I've had guys say that, well, it's gotta be tuned and perfect to the gun. Yeah, I mean, if you're talking SR-25 Mark 11s and accurized guns, yeah, fine. But for Joe, for us with a regular AR, so anyways, I'm just saying, don't throw the gun away yet. But if it's
it's the bolt carrier because I keep a spare bolt carrier group lubed up and in a Ziploc bag, like in my plate carrier, so that when this occurs, I can just rip it out, throw the new one in, and it runs. It ran great. But so I'm dissecting this one, trying to determine the problem, because it's the original bolt carrier that came with it. There's thousands of rounds through this thing too, and that's why I can't figure out why it's locking up like it is. So I'll sort it out.
Did you stand it up?
I think you should throw it away. I think you should trash it. You have my address. Send it my way. I'll destroy it properly for you.
You know what I'm talking about, Chris? Checking the gas rings. Pull the bolt forward.
And then stand it up. See if it falls. Well, the thing is just that when it goes in battery, it's stuck in battery. I don't care if you shoot it. I don't care if you ain't got a round in it with no mag. You pull the charge handle back and let it go. When it goes in battery, it ain't coming out. That's the issue. So I've almost got to where now I'm thinking something's happened with the extractor, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm changing extractors and stuff and trying to make this, see if that'll fix the bolt. I took that bolt out. I put it in a different carrier. Still does it. So I know it's the bolt, and I'm just trying to figure out what's wrong with that bolt. I'll probably just replace that.
The extractor, actually, if you look at the lug on an extractor, you'll notice it's shorter. It actually does not touch the chamber at all. All right.
Right.
So
but
try a different gas key. I'm serious. Try a different gas key, because if it's hanging up on the inside of the bolt carrier, you might because you understand that has to be able to move a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's got to rotate.
Right? So anyway, it's my 2 cents without seeing.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, I changed out the entire BCG and it runs fine.
And it runs, right? It runs. So
yeah, it runs great.
It is the bolt carrier group for sure.
Definitely is. So you said that you're not doing any more classes until March. Like you're no training until March.
No. And here's why. We have enough tactical rifleman videos. We put out a new video every Friday. We have for going on like 6-7 years now. We got a lot of videos, and now my son has started taking all of our old videos and making shorts out of them, YouTube shorts, of like TikTok and clickety clack and all that other shit. Everybody wants to watch 1-minute videos. My son has been taking 1-minute clips of our old videos and putting them up as YouTube shorts. And we've gone from 1 million views a month up to 6, 7, 8, 10,000 views a month. And so it's helping my numbers. But we still put out a new video every Friday. And I only have enough videos filmed right now to get me about halfway through January. So what that means is me and Angery, we get to film videos in the backyard, out at the range. And I've got a ton of videos to film. So the month of January is film videos month. Hopefully I can get the film crew to come down from New York City. If not, my son, you can see some of his camera equipment behind me there. Right over here. He's got good camera equipment. He really does. He does a great job. All his editing and everything. The boys just come a long ways. And and then I have SHOT Show in January. And after SHOT Show, you get into March. And Round Canopy Parachute Team going down to CU. And then, the whole month of February. I didn't mention February. February is it's the month of my wedding anniversary. And my blushing bride has put up with a lot of stuff the last few years. I owe her. So she wants to take me on a cruise. I'm not really big on getting on someone else's boat. I've been on carriers. I've been on the Nassau, the little Marine mini carrier. I've been on boats. I'd rather go to the Rocky Mountains, but
Yeah.
she wants to go on a cruise, so I'm going to go on a cruise, and yeah, and
You sound thrilled, girl. You
yeah,
sound,
right.
you
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, honey, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome, and I will fill her love tank, and then when I come back, March we are booked solid. April booked solid. May we get we're gonna be up there with Robert Toon doing survival in the mountains. It's gonna be
That's
awesome.
right. Mountain readiness with the tactical rifleman team. That's right.
Yeah,
looking forward to that. That's gonna be a good time.
Still gotta get all my guys to sign up for that, guys and gals. And it's 3 days. Everybody gets so many slots a day for different seminars. Is that how that's working?
Yeah. May 3rd, 4th, 5th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You'll have classes all through the day. You guys have probably 2 or 3 classes a day.
Yep.
And then of course that following week, you're booked solid there for 5 consecutive days on the range.
Yeah, we have got so for all of you watching that are on the fence about coming, right? You know, they're going to put up great survival stuff, great survival content. You want a little bit more firearms training. Emery and myself, we're going to be there. So if you want a class on how to set up your kit, we're going to have a 1-hour seminar on that. If you introduction to ARs, you're women only, because I know a lot of husbands are not good at showing their wives guns. So we're going to have these little 1-hour blocks of instruction to help people out. So please come visit us, sign up for those courses. Again, they're all included. But then afterwards, when you're getting packed up, ready to leave, man, I wish I could just stay a little bit longer and get more time hanging out with Emery-san. You know, we've got combat pistol, which it's not a basic course. It is our introductory to combat shooting. Then we've got combat pistol carbine. And then we've got 2 more days of where Emery's the lead instructor for high risk concealed carry. And it's not just, and again, it's not for your concealed carry permit. It is 100% drawing from concealment. You got to bring different cover garments with you, light jacket, sweatshirt, stuff like that. I don't care how hot it is. You've got to have it for the drills. And Emery's going to take you through 2 days of just great training. You're just not going to find anywhere else. So yeah, it's a great course. I'm excited to just be his assistant instructor for that one, because it means I get to shoot more. So it's gonna be
well, I'm definitely going to be on the range with that, because I love shooting with Karl. I love. And T can attest, I can attest. We've both taken classes from these guys, and I've taken classes with other instructors. You have the most fun classes, I will say. You're giving a lot of knowledge. You're giving fantastic instruction, but they're always fun. Like Karl's always got a smile on his face. You know,
that's
Emery's
face.
Emery's the school marm on the range. She's going to be the one that's going to be scowling at you and yelling when you're fucking up. He's going to be yelling at you.
Emery's doing better. He doesn't hit students as much anymore.
As much.
So, like, a lot of guys get taught competition, right, to shoot that AR, get those elbows up, help, you know. Real life, you want, right, pie in doorways. You don't want that elbow sticking up. Well, Emery will ensure that you do not put that elbow up. He motivates you.
Yes, motivating.
Right? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I will say now, I
you still got bruises on that elbow, don't you?
That's. I will elaborate on these classes too, because there's nothing intro about these classes. All right. If you look at Karl's classes, it says intro to this. No, it's not. And I will say these classes were probably, I'm going to put at the very top for classes that I'm taking. They were the best by far, bar none. Not
I appreciate
intro.
that. I appreciate
it as well. And actually, when the camera lit up when we were backstage, when I seen both y'all's faces, my PTSD kicked in from 2 months ago because my elbow started hurting, and then I felt the need to fall down and do push-ups. But in my defense, for 5 consecutive days, I sat there listening to Karl threat, and I mean, you hear threat and you shoot, And so when Karl said threat, I shot, and then the next thing I know, there's Karl.
What he's talking about, guys, is right. This is like an inside joke here. So
situational awareness.
We're back at 25 meters, and we're demonstrating a drill. And I think Emery was shooting the test.
Yeah.
And we have a test called the mark wall, and you have to get a certain score on it. And if you don't score that high, you're not allowed to go live fire inside the shoothouse. It's a test that's used by different special ops units. And if you can't meet that test, when you go in the shoothouse, everybody else live ammo, you're running blue gun. So anyways, we use that test in one of our courses. We use tons of tests and stuff. But Emery would demonstrate the next portion of the test, and then the students do it. And then he'd demonstrate the next one, and then they would do it. Whatever it was, Emery's talking, and Toon's as deaf as I am. And so I say what it is, and I yell, all right, shooter ready, stand by, threat. And Emery starts moving. Well, Toon immediately whips that gun up because he heard threat, brings the gun up and shoots. And the whole firing line just turns and looks like, really, dude? Really? Really? And
that moment you realize, I'm that guy.
Went off. It said boom, and then it was silence. And I was like, oh shit.
I don't take it too
and
hard.
I looked over, and there's everyone just staring right at me. I was like, son of a bitch. And that was it.
You made yourself a bit of a dumbass there. That's okay, because every class somebody does the exact same thing, except normally it's whatever dipshit does it like 3 times. You did it once, you're good.
So Toon got down and did a few push-ups for us. I did them with him. I'll never ask you to do anything that I won't do myself. And no big deal. But we did it. We did it. You didn't die.
It was great because I got a lot of clarity too. At each next, we move up on the line, and then Karl broke it down for me at each spot. He's like, hey, Toombs, you care if Emery demonstrates this right here? He's just demonstrating.
Would you mind?
No, we can do that.
If it's okay with you, that I'm standing downrange. Did I mention I'm standing downrange in front of the firing line so everybody can see me? Do you mind if I, have my demonstrator?
Be okay.
Look, until you're standing at the end of the line with your pants around your ankles, your weapon over your shoulder, holding it by the muzzle and your thumb in your mouth, you're all right. Once you get there, though, just roll up, go up. Negative reinforcement can be very positive on the range because, as my brother Alan Kay has taught me, negative reinforcement works. Only he used an airsoft rifle. So when we were teaching people to shoot from behind cover, if they stuck that chicken wing out there, he would just start dumping an airsoft rifle into it. Because we could tell you all day, tuck your elbow, tuck your elbow, tuck your elbow. But when all of a sudden it's just lit up, you're gonna tuck your elbows. You're not gonna be told again.
I was at the range last Saturday, and we decided to do the dance of death. I had to say that 3 times.
You got to say it 3 times.
You have to say it 3 times every time. And that's what I was told. And when Karl tells me to do something, like yell threat, I do it. But one of the guys on the range kept sticking his elbow up, and just out of nowhere, I punched him with everything I had. I was like, oh, no. Oh, what has Emery done to me?
Only
some stranger, complete stranger on the range out there.
Funny stuff.
That's going to be good. So, are you bringing the camper Carl? You gonna be camping out there and hanging with us?
Of course. Yeah, I love my
Nice.
little. I got a little off-road camper, literally off-road. It'll go right behind my Jeep. It'll go everywhere my Jeep goes, and badass. I love my little camper.
It is. It's a cool ass little
I love
camper.
it.
So,
It's like the
and
best.
Emery, are you gonna?
I can't wait to check this out.
Emery, you
Emery
gonna
will
be brown
have
bag camping again?
his 2-man tent right next to me.
Actually,
Brown bagging.
I have a little 5x8 camper, which it's not a camper. It was just a regular high wall trailer 5x8 that I built a little wooden box into. My plan is to make it a little camper, but I'm never home anymore, so I don't have time to work on it. But that was my thing. Is by March, I'd like to be able to take it down to Palatka. We'll see. Because I'm
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Well, we're going to bring ours over. So, and that's what another thing I wanted to say. So, guys, for those of you watching, that if you've never taken classes from Karl or Emery, you haven't met these guys in person. In March, they're going to be down here in Palatka, Florida, at PT or RCPT.
Palatka,
for Round Canopy, which is a fantastic organization. I suggest you look them up. I wish I had prepared something to throw on the screen with a link to those guys for the Round Canopy parachute team, because you can join them as a non-jumper just to support the organization.
Yeah.
Last time we were there, I donated a chute that I found a chute in a pawn shop. Now, it wasn't the greatest thing, but they're like, no, we can use this for parts and do this and that.
Yeah.
And the canopy was a different kind of a canopy, but they said they had a use for that too. So I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
I picked it up in a pawn shop, donated it to those guys. But you can come down there and hang out. It's a fun event to be at. There's a food vendor on site. You're getting to watch all the aircraft move, watching the guys, watch the riggers, get over there and watch between jumps when those riggers stay out of the way, but because those guys are moving, but watch them pack chutes and stuff. It's such an awesome time. And we bring our camper over and we're going to be camping on site and staying there. And then in the evenings, we go over to Skydive Palatka, their drop zone.
There we go.
And hang out with Art and his crowd. And it's just always so much fun. It's just such a good time.
Just one correction, Chris, real quick. They're no longer called riggers. They are now called packing Americans.
Oh, packing Americans. I'm sorry. That sounds an awful like Packy American, and I don't know how I feel about that. I mean,
that was the token Jew, by the way. That wasn't me. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
And then, so you got an opportunity to meet these guys.
Is I'm the one that told him that joke.
Yeah.
But I won't admit that on camera. Of course not. Of course not.
But you can, in March, you can meet these guys. And Sue, he's going to be there too, right?
Should be, unless he has another,
Inshallah. We'll see.
Yeah, inshallah. Yeah.
Enchilada.
Unless he has another Sueism. But you can come out to Palatka, meet the guys there, and then come to Mountain Readiness in May and hang out and spend some time. And did you say your classes after Mountain Readiness, are they sold out, or do you still have slots?
No, actually, that's kind of why I need you guys to help me promote it, because I think we've got, only got 4 people signed up. So, yeah, I would love to have you guys help us promote it. Either way, we're going to teach the class. The way me and Emery look at it is, if we've got 6 students, that's more one-on-one instruction.
We'll get this filled up. We're going to get on. Okay. As a matter of fact, I'm going to.
Look here, we've got now. Look, guys, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can go tacticalrifleman.com. They're right there. Carl's already got them up, ready to go. You can also go to Mountain Readiness, and we've got the classes listed with the links per each class. Yeah. So 2 ways that you can get to the same spot. And remember, this is first time doing this in North Kakalaki, isn't it?
First time. Yeah.
First time in North Carolina. You guys, I got that from Karl as well.
We've taught all over the place. And I keep getting invited to come to different ranges in North Carolina. And we've done stuff at Fort Bragg, that area. But this will be our first time out in that area for sure. So
first time. So, and this is not, it's 45 minutes from where we're doing the Mountain Readiness. So if you're camping with us, and you're going to stay afterwards to do the class, you just cruise right for the people that want to do this class. You can extend your stay at the campground, save on money. You're already there. Take the time, sign up for the class. It's within driving distance. I think even our food truck guy is talking about heading out there for the week as well. So we're gonna
awesome.
on-site meals as well.
Yeah,
So,
and
find we
awesome
don't-
meals too.
Yeah.
Awesome
we
meals
don't
too.
Meals.
do like gentleman classes where it's a couple hours in the morning, go take a long lunch, and then
No,
little in the
no,
afternoon.
you don't.
No, I'm all about I'll use pistol carbine, combat pistol carbine, for example. You're going to use your rifle. You are going to use your pistol. You're going to use both at the same time, transitioning. But we're very big on put a light on your gun because hours of limited visibility. You need to be able to do that. So, but most people don't get the opportunity to shoot in the dark. A lot of their ranges have sound restrictions, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that course has a night shoot in it the first night, and
which is always fun. Which is always awesome.
Always a good time.
Yeah,
and I have had to use a flashlight at high noon. We hit Sawdust City one time, and power had been off for 45 days. High noon, we hit this 80 apartment complex, and as soon as you went through that first door, it was dark as a cave, and you start explosively breaching doors and flashbanging and everything, and you're using that flashlight. And if you think that, and I pray none of y'all ever have to draw down on another American, but power goes out, natural disasters. They had a rolling blackout hit New York City, and I want to say the power was out 20 minutes before the looting started.
Yeah.
A whole 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So for you to say, well, power's out here, but I live in a nice area. Yeah, they don't loot the bad areas. You're gonna need a light on your firearms. You really are. So this is an opportunity for you to use them. And all day long is drills like that. But they're long days. I will tell you, you definitely get your money's worth with our classes. Round counts, equipment that you're going to need. You can find all that at our website, tacticalrifleman.com. And the calendar's there. If you can't make those particular dates, we're all over the country. Got classes, Texas, Tennessee, a few other places. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. Bunch of good classes.
We're going to talk about the classes in May in just a second, but guys, we're going to do some shameless plugging real quick. We got a little promo to run real fast. We're right back, and we're going to do something as soon as we come back from these real quick.
Do something.
So yeah.
For those of you who may not have heard of the Survival Series, the basic premise of it is as a post EMP. The main character, Morgan Carter, is 250 miles from home in the state of Florida when this happens, and the first book is just about him trying to get home. But as we all know, and most of us don't really think about, that's just the beginning. That's why his whole route home is only one book. The rest of the books are trying to deal with this new world, and where we're at now, number 12 in the series, Exploring Home, we're starting the rebuilding of that world. And it's going to look a lot different than what it looked like when we started. I think in a better way. That's the basic premise of it. And and Morgan, our guy, he meets a lot of interesting characters along the way. He makes some great friends. A lot of bad stuff happens to him too, but you just got to deal with it. Ain't dead, can't quit. If you haven't heard of the Survival Series, check it out today. Links below. You can get it on Amazon. It's on Audible, e-readers, all your stuff. Check it out. I think you guys will like it.
As we all know, shadow banning is a real thing, and I know it affects me greatly. One of the things we're doing to get around that is the new website has a sign up where you can get the newsletter. I highly recommend you go over and do that because you're not getting notifications from all the platforms. Even Patreon's not sending out notifications. But if you get on the mailing list, you'll get the newsletter and any important updates. I'm not going to spam you with a bunch of email. I'm damn sure not going to sell your email address. You don't have to worry about that kind of thing. But it's a way that you'll be able to keep up with what's going on. Because too many people are saying, hey, I didn't get the notification for this. I didn't know you're doing that. That's because social media hates me and they're not sending stuff out. So hit the link down below, sign up to the mailing list. You'll get the weekly newsletter and the updates that come out periodically. But if you want to stay connected, it's the best way to do it. Hit the link below and you guys know the drill. Be good or be good at it.
I got shameless plugs over. What'd you say, Carl?
It's funny you mention book 12 because I actually just finished it while I was driving back from Chicago.
Don't ruin it
And,
for me. I'm about halfway through.
I won't. I gotta spoil it for you. I got to.
I gotta spoil it for you. I got to.
First off, you guys know Angery, right? If you guys haven't tried the book on Audible, I like hard copies too. Hard copies are awesome. But the guy that Chris got to read these books, I don't remember the guy's name, Duke Fontaine or whatever.
That's him, Duke Fontaine.
Karl doesn't sound like Karl Erickson at all, but there are 3 characters in there. I don't know where he came up with them. One's named Karl, one's named Angery, and one is named Chad, and they ride around in this Jeep. And,
old classy ass Jeep.
Yeah.
Red.
Fire engine red too. Fire engine red.
Like that wouldn't have been spray painted by now. But anyways, so I'm listening to Duke Fontaine, and a good narrator that he is. He has different voices for each character. And by the way, I don't sound like me, but I got that. Okay, but Emery Morgenstern, International Man of Mystery. This character in the book sounds so Jewish. You can hear how big the nose is. I mean, it is awesome. Duke Fontaine is the perfect guy for this. The character Chad even sounds fat. He does. I mean, it's like, holy, this guy has just got a gift. He has got a gift. So a little bit of history between me and Chris here. I'd started with the home series. I was working down in Memphis, Tier 1 group, director special projects, drive down on Mondays, come home on Fridays. And I was doing a lot of audio books. If you look at the top of the shelf behind me over here, those are all your old audio books on CDs.
Yeah.
Found Audible. I'm doing Chris's books. Fast forward to just a few years ago, I'm down at the Big Daddy Unlimited Epic shoot. And Donnie Dunn, a friend of Chris, said, hey, Karl, I'm one of your patrons. You know, hey, come sit down here with Mel and Chris. They're friends of mine. And he's like, hey, so he's introducing me to these people. And I got this guy, looks like he's from ZZ Top, sitting next to him. And he's like, yeah, this is Chris Weatherman. He writes survival books. Angry American. And I went, American. And me and Chris had met the year prior, shook hands and everything, but he didn't tell me.
Beers together.
Yeah, he didn't tell me I'm American. So
and I didn't realize you were tactical rifleman, Karl.
Yeah,
I was Chris. You were Karl. We were drinking beers in the afternoon.
Good good Americans gravitate. So anyways, me and Chris become friends, and I go down to Palatka, Florida. I'm an hour from Chris's house. Never been to his place, his hill, his compound. And Chris says he practices what he preaches, guys. He really does. So. I go to Chris's place and I meet his blushing bride Mel, and his daughter comes in, and she's tall, skinny high school girl, and he's like, "This is my daughter, such and such. This is Little Bit in the book," and I was like, "Little Bit's like," and he's like, "Yeah, Karl, that book was written 10 years ago," and I'm like. I'm like, Mel, that means you're Mel. And I looked at Mel, his wife, because the character in the books, you got to remember, I don't pay attention half the time. I always visualized Mel as this little sweet brunette, you know, and that's not Mel. Mel is the biggest character. Mel is the largest character in the room, and she's a character. We love Mel. Everybody loves Mel. So I'm so happy to see that book 11, Mel gets herself an M249. Oh yeah. So that's awesome, man. It is awesome. It is awesome.
And the fact that we got to shoot the video in Texas from the book where she's laying behind that 249 and Karl's on her back. All right. when you squeeze the trigger, I want you to say, die, motherfucker, die, and let off, and die, and we got to film that very scene of her being, that was the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say about courses is I'm gonna give away a spot to Pistol Carbine. I'll pay you for it, and I'm gonna sponsor somebody into that.
Okay.
I'm gonna figure out how to give that away, but I'm gonna do that to promote getting people to sign up. We'll figure out something to make them get over to your website and look around, and then that'll get them into the pot to win. So when I do this, guys, make sure you have the days off. All right. I mean, because this is, if you don't show, I'll stick somebody else in that class if I got to grab them off the street. But, you know, the class training is expensive, folks. Everybody likes to spend money on gear because you can sit around at night while you're watching YouTube and rub on it, you know. But training and knowledge is something that stays with you forever, as long as you'll exercise it, because it will atrophy just like everything else. You've got to use the stuff. But Karl and Angery, they're such good instructors. You will have a blast, and we'll be there. Me and Mel, we'll be out there too. I'll get on the range. I'm not afraid. I'll do it again. I love training with you guys. It's a lot of fun. I wish, Angery, we still had the shoot house, because that's hands down the most fun in the world to me.
We got to find some sort of solution, don't we?
Yeah, we're
playing
working
outdoor
on
in the
another
shoot
one.
house. So I love that. That's fun. But yeah, I'll get with you and we'll get squared up. But I'm gonna do a giveaway. I'm gonna give away a slot so you can check one off right there, and we'll get some more people registered, because you guys come train. I mean, you hear me say it all the time. And how hard is it right now, Karl, Angery, for both of you guys? How hard is it to fill seats to get students to sign up, pay the money, and actually show? Everybody wants to train until it's time to train. So.
I know if you look at CNN, they'll tell you how great the economy is doing. Yeah, you know, and the bridges that are for sale and everything. But but the reality is that all the instructors all across the U.S., you talk to them, and the class numbers are down. They're down, and a couple of reasons. One, you know, everybody started buying magazines when they thought Hillary was going to win. That's the truth. Magazines were selling out because they knew she was going to make them illegal. Everybody woke up the next day and they're like, "Oh snap! Trump won," and they just knew the zombie apocalypse was coming. All the Democrats start buying guns, and then you add COVID. Well, I canceled that first class because of COVID, because like everybody was scared. But then I realized, I was like, we're outside. That's where everybody needs to be. So I'm like, hey, we're not canceling any more classes. You do not have to wear a mask. You're welcome to. If you want to wear a mask, that's fine. You want to wear a plate carrier, that's fine. I want you to train as you fight. And our classes, they all filled. We could not add enough classes. And it worked out great. But then Biden came in and everybody's like, well, we don't need guns anymore because Trump's guys are not, and they're not the ones that were going to start the war anyways. And but it's just they pushing so much. Hey, everything's fine now. Everything's fine. COVID's gone. You notice all the rioting went away until Nancy Pelosi needs them again, and then they'll all be back. So, and as much as everybody says, well, yeah, I know we still need it. I know we still need to get ready. We say that, but at the same time, the cost of gas has gone through the roof. Eggs has gone through the roof. All the little things that we're just having to pay more for. They can say the economy is improving, and it is. Technically, it is, but yeah, from the completely crushed down COVID, we shut down everything, you know. So yeah, it's right now, classes are not feeling good. That's okay. I understand. We tighten the belt up an extra notch, and we're not going to quit because I'm supposed to be retired anyways. I did 25 years as a Green Beret, and I paid my dues. And I thought about it. I was like, what am I going to do? Just going to grow old and die? One, I'm not ready. I'm just not ready for that. I'm not. And I would be bored sitting here. And so I'm just trying to make the world a better place. So if we can do that, sharing some knowledge in videos, and that's why our videos aren't that popular. You know, all the guys doing entertaining stuff, yoga pants and blowing up tannerite and stuff like that, they're getting millions and millions of views, where we're teaching you how to put on a tourniquet and how to perform a tac mag reload, and doing all the stuff that we're not doing anything sexy. We're still going to keep doing it. Classes, we're still going to keep doing it. So we're not going anywhere. We'll do smaller classes. No big deal.
That's awesome.
You know what?
And a point on Mel. A point I want to make on Mel real quick. Karl is. Go ahead. Andrew.
Sorry.
Finish your thought. No. Finish your thought. I'm just running mine out too. I should say
we've added some new stuff this year, and
we've done that.
Yep.
And a lot of it is a lot more intensive with, you know, kind of having to be a little more, you know, one-on-one. So yeah, maybe
that's good. And you guys are always good about that. Like if there's a struggling student, you guys will pull that student aside, and it's usually Angery that gets tasked with helping the handicapped. You know, he's down there in that blue parking spot. You know, but since Mel had her surgery today, I just wanted to remind everybody, Mel's like Karl said, the biggest character in the room. Mel is an experience. Is what I like to tell people. Like, just she's not just Mel; she's an experience. So
that's so true.
This is so true.
Don't make me go full Mel on you.
Don't go full Mel. Don't go full Mel. This is the last podcast of the year. Never go. Yeah, you guys. Nobody
never go. Never go Mel on that ass. Never.
But this is the last podcast of the year. You guys know we're doing the after show after this, where we can get a little bit looser. We're gonna have a little bit more fun because we're gonna talk about some training, and maybe we'll if as long as Dana's not stomping too hard on the floor, we might sprinkle a little bit of politics in there to do some crystal ball stuff. We'll talk about some how you see things, how because we got into a little bit. Angery, our last podcast, I think was the best one so far, is what everybody's saying. People loved that one. They loved what you had to say, and I want to do some more stuff like that in the future. So let me think.
Yeah, well,
so for those of you that
you guys that watch,
they loved it, man. It was fantastic. And we want to do some more of those. And Karl, I want to have you on again, because really an hour is just not long enough for us to chat. Because we could do this for hours. Sit here and talk about all kinds of stuff. Because I got some of my favorite people in the world sitting right here. I mean, I miss our redheaded stepchild. It would have been really cool if he was here.
Parmelius Dion is in the chat room, which is awesome.
Is he really?
I have to hold my hand like that when I say his name. Parmelius Dion. That's the
awesome.
Coolest name, man. Why couldn't I get a cool name?
Yep. And I'm going to give you guys a little insight into Angery's voice in Book 12. Mr. Duke Fontaine has very close relations with Russian Israelis.
Yes.
I'll just leave it at that. That's his experience. That's his frame of reference. So hence, that's why Angery sounds like Angery does.
Obviously, I mean, I don't have an Israeli accent when I speak English normally, but man, he had me convinced.
He had me convinced. Oh, here we have a Karl question. This is from Will. He's one of our tribe members right here. He says, so Will's asking Karl, why didn't the Army allow SF to train our support forces? We only got basic marksmanship.
Honest, brother, I did train a lot of support forces. So I don't know why you didn't have any SF guys around you. All your different jobs for Green Berets, you've got strategic reconnaissance, direct action, unconventional warfare, a number of different missions, but one of them is called FID, Foreign Internal Defense. And that's basically where we go to other countries and teach them to fight for themselves. And how do you do that in peacetime? Well, the real world mission, going and training the
Yeah.
Israelis, training with them, going and training with the Germans, going and training. I've trained everybody from the Bahrainis, the Kuwaitis, the Saudis, basically everybody through the Middle East, teach them to fight for themselves. But even when we're back in the States a lot, or we're getting ready for a deployment, they'd be like, hey, we need you to practice teaching this. And it might be something weird, because who do you send to teach a new country how to use their M1 Abram tanks? You send tankers, they're not good at teaching. So, well, you want to send Green Berets, right? They speak the native language. We don't get taught tanks. So what they do is they send us to a school, M1 Tank Commanders course, and you get overseas. You've got to stand on top of that tank, subject matter expert. You learn to teach this stuff. But a lot of times before we would deploy, they would have us teach these odd courses to our U.S. troops. I have taught everything from the 101st Band all the way up to Task Force 160th soldiers, including their support soldiers, just on Fort Campbell. That's not even counting other bases. When we do Robin Sage, the schoolhouse, they bring in COSCOM troops and support kids, literally, because like you're saying, they don't get anything but the basics. So I apologize. You didn't get nothing but basic marksmanship. If I had been there, I would have been pushing more training on you for sure.
Yeah. Well, and guys, like I said, we're going to hit the after show here in just a minute over on Rumble and elsewhere you can find it. So dive into there and check that out. And Prepper Book Club, you'll have to read book 12 and you'll get your answers to what everybody thought was a huge mistake, but it's a learning it's a teaching moment for things. There's only one way to make sure something's really dead. And so I'm going to leave it at that. But book 13, I'm going to tell you guys, Karl, you guys are going to love. You two in particular are really going to get a satisfying moment out of book 13.
I am so in need of a satisfying moment. I want like an 82 millimeter tube satisfying moment.
You don't understand.
You're going to get some closure.
We've had 100
I need some closure.
You, Chris, we've talked about this ad nauseum, but Karl and I, every time we get in a car, that's like topic number 2.
Well, I decided
we curse you, Chris. I got the end of that book and I was like,
well, I've decided that I'm going to draw that moment out a little bit and make the suffering a little more substantial.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt.
With a spectacular finale, like you're going to appreciate it. Like it's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right, guys. Karl, where do you want to point folks to? Where can they follow you, find you? What do you want to put out there?
Tacticalrifleman.com is our company website. That if you want to see bios of all my instructors, so we're not just pulling shit and we're frauds. We are not at all. I've got everything from Navy SEALs to everybody on my team, and that's where you'll find stuff about our classes. You want to see the videos, and again, we've got over 700 videos now. You can go to our YouTube channel, Tactical Rifleman. That said, we do a Tuesday live stream, and we do that every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. We don't do California time at all.
By the way, that's on a different channel. It's called TR Live.
Yeah, that channel is TR Live. It's a sister YouTube channel. And you'll hunt for it, and it's actually hard for you to find it because YouTube is trying to keep people from watching that stuff. So if you want a weekly live stream, and I've got a bunch of truckers that watch it while they're doing long haul, and they just laugh their tails off because I get questions from the peanut gallery. We try to keep it educational. But at the same time, like I had Emery on Tuesday night. I had Steve Holland on last Tuesday. Steve Holland is an old 5th Group guy that invented the 6.8 special purpose cartridge, the the Mark 12 special purpose rifle, the SPR, and just a great guy. And so anyways, those would be the 3 places you can go hunt for us. And you want to experience the love for real, like up close and personal, sign up for a class. You will not regret
Come
it.
to class. Yeah, absolutely. Come take a class. Like I said, I'm gonna give one away because I definitely want to. Hey, can Randy do a live like this remote? Has he got the technology and the bandwidth to pull that off?
Randy
Cameron,
Word?
Mike?
We can get
Yes. I want to get him on the podcast, Emery. I'm gonna because we've got an empty slot next year, and I want to plug Randy into that because that would be epic. We need
that would be good for
happen.
Randy too. That would be good for
well,
Randy.
he's a legend that we need to talk about. And I've got somebody. I'm gonna pass a name by you off tomorrow. I'm gonna send you a text about somebody. I'm gonna see if you know this guy. I met another American legend that you two might know each other. So, guys, you know the drill. Head to the after show on the rocks, and we will catch you next year. T, what do you want to leave them with?
Sure. Man, real quick, just always an honor to be on here with all of you great Americans. All 3 of you guys are awesome. Of course, missing Sue. Test that gear. Everybody take one of Karl's classes. Look, 2-3 hours on the range. That ain't nothing like 10 straight hours on the range. Because I'm going to tell you, my fat found all kinds of places that my mags couldn't be. So I had to rework my entire gun belt after that 5 days. Man, I was bruised up, beat to pieces. But that's what it takes, right? That's what it takes.
Yeah.
So don't sit around. YouTube's great, but it only does so much for you. 2 days, couple hours on the range. That only does so much for you. You need to get out there and do a class. And I guarantee you take a class with Emery and Karl, you will not be disappointed at all. So remember, also, May 3rd, 4th, and 5th, we have all of these great people all in one spot. So you can get those entry level. You don't know who Karl and Emery are? Well, number 1, shame on you. 2, here's your opportunity to hang out with them for a little bit. Right? Along with Bear Independent, Refuge Medical, Doc Bones Nurse Amy. We got Daniel Salatin. Of course, Joel Salatin's son will be there. Fit Farmer Mike Dixon. I mean, we got the Honey said we have a huge venue of, in my opinion, not just my opinion, the best in the business. So come see us out there, take a class. Happy New Year to all y'all folks that we won't see till after that's all over with.
And the after parties every evening at Mountain Readiness are the best part of the whole. For me, I love the hanging out time where everybody can just mix and mingle. So, all right, guys, till next year. Yes. Well, it'll be right around ours.
You guys are right in the. Now, hey, and Chris,
they
that's a great idea too. I think
fence us off. They had to fence us off back there, Karl.
Yeah, the VIP.
Yeah, you're fenced off. Well, it's called Angry Land. We actually
all the VIPs have to stay out of it, and that's just where only all the ruffians are allowed.
So, that's a great idea too, Chris. I think we're going to do the same thing. We're gonna sponsor out a class with Karl as well. We'll do something.
There we go. All right, Karl. There's two more spots for you, brother.
We'll get a couple. Cool.
Hell yeah.
You get one.
We'll do some giveaways.
You know what? Perfect. Karl and I will take those spots. We just have to find somebody to teach because we'd like to shoot them.
You'd like to, you guys want to shoot some? All right, guys. Till next year, you know the drill. Be good or be good at it. And we will see you.
The First Amendment says freedom of speech. It doesn't say unless it hurts somebody's feelings. Haven't had enough yet? Stick around for the after show. Bolder, grittier, angrier. On the Rocks with Angry American and the gang is coming up next.